gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
The consortium was me!
I hate you. I hate you. I hate your hat. I hate your t-shirts. I hate your wristbands. I hate your shoes. I hate your music. I hate the C Nation. I hate everything that you stand for.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
WWP Slam It!
Hey everybody, welcome back to WWP. We are here discussing the 2018 Elimination Chamber, aka, if you're German, No Way Out. Yeah. I am one of the hosts, half of the Bludgeon Brothers, half of the club, the Good Club, or whatever the fuck they're called. My name's Miguel, and I am joined by, as always, by El De Niro.
I told you we were going to be the Spirit Squad.
Next time I'll do the Spirit Squad. I'll just go for all the tag teams.
Why am I wearing this green band gym high school suit or whatever the fuck their attire was? What the hell was it again? I can't even remember, but they all wore green, didn't they?
There's a lot of green.
Yeah.
There's a lot of screaming names.
Mickey!
Mike! It's Dolph Ziggler, and we are
The Spirit Squad!
Yeah, all those lads got out of the business except for Ziggler.
Yeah.
Like, not even in the end. Actually, one of them might still be in the Indies, but I think it's Kenny. Whichever one came back for that little run they had. But all the others, they're like, fuck that. When DX physically boxes you to OVW on TV, you pretty much have to claw and scratch your way back to the business.
It's no wonder Ziggler has such a chip on his shoulder. Like,
yeah,
what are you gonna do? You know,
he's here to show the world, doing his little wiggle, and
I think he's shown them.
Yeah, he's just a quick chat on Ziggler here. Actually, we're on the subject. Is he it's either him or Ryder who are like the biggest internet darlings that just as soon as other internet darlings came along, everyone was like, yeah, can you fuck off, lads? Like,
people fucking hate Ziggler right now. He's got like X-Pac heat.
Yeah, go away. Like, even at the Rumble when he came back, yeah, he got the initial pop and then he was just thrown out, and it was just like, why did you give up your title if they got nothing for you here? It's odd.
He might actually have worse than X-Pac heat. He might just, people are just completely indifferent to him at this point. It's really weird. I like the guy. I think he's solid. People like to make fun saying that he oversells. I don't think that's true. I think he's really good at selling, but people just used to overstate how good at selling he is. So now people do the opposite thing and say he oversells. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fair to call him Shawn Michaels tribute act. Like, he kind of is, but
mixed in with Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, and a weird allegiance to Billy Gunn that I've never quite understood. But
of all the people.
Yeah, it's so strange, isn't it? It's just why him?
He's got Billy Gunn 99 written all over him, funnily enough, as well.
Except he's about half the size, because he does probably less steroids. So.
Oh yeah, probably closer to none than Billy Gunn.
Probably, yeah.
Allegedly. So we've got here No Way Out. God, I forgot which day it took on. Was it on a Sunday? I reckon it was on a Sunday.
No. It was the unique Monday pay-per-view. Monday Madness. What was that? Taboo Tuesday.
Taboo Tuesday, yeah. I watched that.
This is kind of similar in the sense that this is another gimmicky pay-per-view, and it's a B show, and it's in that weird spot of being between the Rumble and WrestleMania. So like anything that happens here is so they can shuffle things into place for the bigger stage, or else nothing happens here at all. That's kind of, it's really weird to me that they have the Elimination Chamber in this slot. I think it's suited a lot more as a special match that you would have at a SummerSlam. I don't really like the idea of basing an entire pay-per-view around it. It's actually one of the first things that Michael Cole says in this pay-per-view when you tune in is only 20 other times have superstars entered the Elimination Chamber. It's like, that's a massive fucking number. That doesn't make it sound prestigious and unique and specialist at all. That makes it sound like a fairly run-of-the-mill match, right? The first chamber was in, 2003, I think? So, like...
Two.
So,
Yeah.
There's been 20 of them in 16 years. That's not really, like, very prestigious. So
you feel like this kind of match is something that should be called for, like you have top, because like the original one was like you had Triple H with the belt and you had like 5 top end contenders in brackets, because obviously you did have your Bookers and your Kanes and your RVDs and Jericho.
Carlito,
actually,
whatever.
The first one was like, so this is during the Reign of Terror for Triple H, so you would have had RVD, who got jobbed clean like the month before that. I think it was like Survivor Series. You had Kane, who was about a week off having all sorts of accusations about what he did or did not do
to a corpse.
To a corpse. Shout, throw back to that.
We talk about that a lot.
It's weird. It's odd. It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You have Jericho, who was flattened at WrestleMania. Hashtag WWP review WrestleMania. And then you have, what am I missing? Sean, Booker. Sorry, Booker hadn't been buried yet at this point.
Booker hadn't been kicked off commentary at this point.
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania 19. Yeah, he gets his gets pretty borderline racist promo from Triple H. People like you. Nappy hair, shouldn't win the world title, and then gets a pedigree, and about half a minute later the pinfall happens. And then you had Shawn Michaels, the only person that Triple H was probably willing to put over at that time.
Yeah.
But I suppose the picture, I mean, I know that you buried them all, blah blah, but like the picture trying to paint here was that like it was brought on not because it was the Survivor Series and they were like, what are y'all 6 doing?
Exactly.
It was more organic. It's like with the old Hell in a Cells. Like it has a more organic build of like, keep no one out, no one in. Let's just have these guys tear each other's heads off. Whereas now it's just, I think a lot of people have this complaint. It's not a new thing, obviously, from having that pay-per-view. Was it back in 2010, which was like Fatal 4-Way. Everything's a Fatal 4-Way. It's Fatal 4-Ways consist a lot of 2 guys fighting, and while 2 other guys wait for their spots outside.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Money in the Bank ladder matches. It seems to be a lot of like, okay, now it's your turn, now it's our turn. Or even that pay-per-view, I guess. But I've always had a soft spot for Money in the Bank. Because I think it's a statement from the company about who's probably gonna get the push, unless you're Sandow.
But that's the other thing, you see. Having Money in the Bank now, right? You've got 2 brands, and we have to have the bland split, which is
SmackDown.
That is quite a good Freudian slip right there. But yeah, so you've just got all these guys. Like, you're gonna have to fucking give Sandow or someone like that like what looks like a push, and then see the problem, the trap you fall into when you do that is that you give the briefcase to a guy like Sandow, and then the internet is like, oh, this is great, but like truthfully, it's not great. No. It's not great at all. It's the opposite of great, because now we're gonna have to have somebody bury him on TV, and it's I don't know.
I heard Cena's hungry. Feed him.
Exactly.
Feed him.
Yeah.
Potential main event. Oh, not main eventers, but potential mid card guys.
Yeah. I just don't think it should be done. Even now, look at SmackDown, right? You've got Ziggler in the Fatal 5-Way. I mean, that's a bit whatever.
Really? Yeah.
And again, I like Ziggler. I'm happy to see him in the spotlight, more so than a lot of people are. But I think at this point, like, you gotta drop him and let him do something else. Like, he needs to find something and make it his own. Something that isn't, I am a good talker with a chip on my shoulder. Like, I don't know. These types of specialist events, I get what they're doing. They're trying to make every pay-per-view like the Rumble, where it's a thing that the people who have watched wrestling before and stopped watching it, they'll tune back in for the Rumble for sure, because it's the Rumble. You got it. Same thing with WrestleMania. So they want to make it like that, where, oh, but it's the Money in the Bank. It's 6 guys and the Elimination Chamber. But you end up just contriving situations to sell pay-per-views, and it's good for business, but it's not really good for the product itself, I don't think. And it might have a longer detrimental effect to the fans watching. I don't know, but like,
I feel like it's the equivalent of like if you're at a party and they're going, "Don't leave, don't leave, it's gonna get good," and you're like, "Yeah, maybe," but you keep saying "don't leave," and it's kind of weird. It's like them going, "Please watch this." I guess that's why the Elimination Chamber is here, because people watch the Rumble, they'll fuck off, and then come back for WrestleMania, and they're like, "No, look, there's other crazy shit going on." You're like, "Yeah, but I like the other event down the road, not this one. No, please stay." And I don't know.
Say this though, cool selling point for this event is the women's Elimination Chamber, which I was actually really looking forward to because they fucking nailed it at the Rumble. And I was looking to see how they would get on here, and that was the one that actually opened. Well, sorry, the Good Brothers and Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas opened the show.
No, I didn't see any of this.
Oh,
what did you make of that?
This is the only thing I actually watched. I didn't even watch the rest. No, just kidding. I didn't watch this at all. So what I've read is that the Good Brothers won, which I'm shocked to learn. So
the Good Brothers.
Yeah. Just
They
how
went
good
big
are
off the
these?
club.
How good are they? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Do you reckon they were just walking past the writers and they're, you know, because it's obviously the wrestlers do actually say brother quite a lot.
Mm.
How are you, good brother? Hey, that's a good tag team name, guys. All right. Yeah, I guess out of the club or Good Brothers is odd. So hopefully they'll be called the Balor Club. I think that's the closest thing that we're gonna get to that sort of naming there.
Yeah.
So we kick off and we have the build up for the women's match. I think they probably picked the best of the bunch from Raw, considering Paige isn't working.
Yeah.
And pretty much no one of the quote-unquote special attractions that came out at Mania or returning people that came out at at the Rumble are around. Like they've all, as soon as they came in, Trish, Lita, Kelly, Undertaker's wife, best name, Michelle McCool, like they've all fucked off. So even the Bellas, they're not there.
I think we knew that would happen though, didn't it? It's like no one in 2014 thought that Kevin Nash was going to stick around when he came out on the Rumble.
This is it. This is the run.
People tuning in next Monday night like, where the fuck is he?
But did you think he was going to stick around in 2011 when he's like feuding with Punk?
Oh yeah, I
don't know if you remember that era.
Oh, I do. Hey, look, you want to see what my little sister texted me today? WTF, Kevin Nash, LOL, thought he was dead.
The best bit of that storyline is, right? Who did the text come from? Text came from Triple H's phone. Kevin Nash texted himself from Triple H's phone saying, go and attack, I think it was Punk or Del Rio. I think it's, Punk was fighting Del Rio. And Triple H's like, no, I didn't do it. And CM Punk was like, you're all pathetic. And I hate everyone already, so this does not help. But
I also love the idea that like that's how camaraderie works. Like, remember that time I texted you saying, hey Miguel, go and attack your boss.
Yeah,
so you did
like
it.
A rival podcast.
Yeah.
But you took my phone, texted me, from my phone text, or did it the way around, actually. I texted myself from your phone.
From my phone.
So you're like, what
attack
the fuck? I never said
PW
this. Yeah. Yeah. Dave Meltzer's been chatting shit. Just like going after him. Get me his Twitter. So we have a nice build-up. Can I just say, the WWE build, we probably talked about this before, but their video packages at this point means you don't even have to watch Raw, SmackDown, because they are so on point.
They're sublime. Whoever edits stuff, like they do such a better job than UFC does. It's not even close. The Fed sells a feud like nobody else. Even like the McGregor-Mayweather build-up was pretty good, and I genuinely think they probably borrowed a lot of that from the way the Fed goes about promoting their fights, because it was really, really good. And like I'd love to see like an interview with the person who prepares all of these, because it's definitely the same person or the same team that's been doing it for years and years. It's so fucking solid.
You never hear about those people in WWE, not even on like documentaries and stuff. That's like they always break down like the wrestlers' characters, but you never get to see like, oh yeah. So the way I put this video package together is I do this, I do this. I guess they want to still not break you into that side of the business.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense, because like the writers come out and they have YouTubes and podcasts and so on and Twitters and all that.
That's
but
true.
You never hear from producers or I don't know, just stagehands, people the dude that does the pyro. Never hear from him.
Yeah.
Or the dude they used to throw Steve Austin the beers.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he's at ringside, like the Bell dude. He's at ringside all the time. I'd love to hear those guys being like, yeah, it was the maddest shit you ever saw.
Yeah, definitely.
And, yeah, you know, hopefully this will happen after they're fired. But, anyways, yes.
Because they will be fired.
Yeah, because they wouldn't come on and be like, yeah, it's all fake. What? Yeah, no, so we have, who do we have here? So, Sasha, Absolution, which is Sonya Deville. Yeah, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose. We've got Mickie James, we've got Bayley, and we've got the champion Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, and we start out with Bayley and I want to say Mandy?
Yes, because I wrote Mandy on my notes. Which sounds like I'm looking for a drug.
Yeah,
Bit of Mandy. Yeah, so what I liked about this, just a quick note, as Bliss was coming out, by the way, all the ladies look fucking awesome.
No, it's actually Sonya and Bayley at the start.
Oh, so I probably just wrote Mandy as she was coming out.
You just wrote Mandy just when you saw her.
Yeah. Mandy versus Rose. What? Yeah, I like the fact that they pointed out that Alexa said that Lesnar isn't defending his title while she is, which is not fair. Now, this is something that, from like stuff I've listened to, even reading stuff online, is something that's quite. So I always remember in WCW that if Randy Savage was in a feud with DDP, he'd still talk about the world title because that was his ultimate goal. Whereas in WWE, everything's very confined. Like, if you're not in the title feud, you don't talk about the title. You don't talk about other champions, especially when it came down to the opposite gender. Like, you never heard, back in the day, Lita saying, like, I'm just like Triple H, but, that weird comparison, but I think they were champions probably at the same time. Or, being like, I'm as marquee as the male version of me, of the male champion. It was always like, we only talk about the women. We are women. We only wrestle women. We always make our comments. So it's quite nice seeing Alexa break through and be like, hang on a minute. That guy doesn't get to do shit, and he's technically on the same status champion as I am.
Yeah.
How come it's different? So it's quite nice.
Yeah, when you draw like Lesnar does, then we can have a conversation.
yeah, the Bliss PPV machine begins here. Did you see Cole? Basically, he said that he had a conversation with Sasha, and apparently she looked him in the eye and was like, Cole, I'm focused as hell. And then he had a conversation with Mickie James, and Mickie James was apparently like, I'm here to become a 7-time champion. And then, in the weirdest one, he said that Bayley told him that dreams keep me awake. What the fuck does that even mean?
Cole was very, very, very off his game in this pay-per-view. I know I like to give out about the guy a lot, but he was especially bad. He fumbled his words so many times. He called so many things just incorrectly, and there were those moments where, you know how he has to say something emphatic to cut away.
Yes.
Like, to the next, so he fucked that up pretty much every single time that he was required to do it. It was really, really bizarre. Usually those things kind of, you enter autopilot when you're commentating on something and you run through your most known phrases and the things that you say most of the time. And Cole just didn't seem to have access to that. It's like he was just really overthinking everything that he did, and it resulted in him... I don't know, he just did not sound into it at all. Coach, on the other hand, was actually fantastic.
Who would have thought?
I know, I have so much negativity about the Coach, but hearing him in this role was really great. It's like it's because he wasn't being shoehorned into the spotlight where he doesn't belong or something. He was just there to do co-commentary and sort of a play-by-play, not play-by-play, but like co-commentary.
Yeah, just adding color to it and
Exactly.
doing it in a very much like those American style shows. Everyone's quite loud and brash, but they talk about statistics. He came across all that like he was a guy that was at ESPN and came to do wrestling as opposed to a wrestling coached commentator.
Yeah, he was like an analyst or something.
Yeah, which is quite nice. And
was.
some of the stuff he said. So I suppose the best commentator of all time is Jim Ross. The best co-commentator or color, whatever you want to call it, was probably Paul Heyman. Probably those two together are my favorite team. And it was only brief. It was only like about 6-7 months. And I think they're fucking incredible. So you can't really compare anybody to those two. In my opinion, can't really compare anybody to those two. But I feel like in today's wrestling, the commentators are at their best if you didn't notice them during matches, which sounds really bad, but they didn't fuck you off. You know what I mean? That's the standard here.
I agree. I'm always really happy to hear Corey. I think he's absolutely class. Just Cole though, he just fucking sticks out like a sore thumb. He is.
He's the odd one out now.
Yeah.
I think he's listen, he'll have his statistics ready, and he will drop those statistics, especially when the lads start coming out. Because obviously at this point we don't have women's statistics as the first one. So more on that later. So we got a quite nice Bayley chance to start off with, which is odd because I thought she'd been booked to the fucking ground recently. They've got these weird mats on the outside. Did you notice those?
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know if it was like in good taste to say something like it seems like the Elimination Chamber is slowly becoming redundant at this point, right? If you get thrown to the outside, it doesn't hurt, and that's great. I don't want the people to be hurt really badly for my entertainment, right? But the whole point of the chamber is that it hurts, and it seems like it doesn't anymore. So the only thing about it now is that there's the pods, and you climb on the pods, or you have to wait in the pod till someone comes out. But that's it. There's nothing else to it, and that's kind of odd, I guess. And also, you used to be able to pin someone out on the side, and you can't anymore.
Yeah, I can't remember when that took that away, but I don't know why. It's still on the same sort of height as the canvas. But, and even the pods, when they jumped out from the top, a few people did. Even those are now set up to be spots. Whereas the first couple, it was like chain up the top as well.
Yeah, exactly. I noticed that. I actually saw the plexiglass, and I thought, is someone going to go through the top of one of these to the outside or something?
That would be like your big, was it Umaga and what was it Bobby Lashley? When he throws him over the cage, which is a very memorable spot in those two. Around the feud with the current president of the United States.
All in the name of freedom.
Bobby. Couldn't remember his fucking name. I got Bobby. So I'm calling him Bobby. Like you. Weird. Anyways, so not much between Sonya and Bayley. There's a nice top rope elbow on the chamber. And up next, Mandy Rose is out. Yeah. She does a slap, and then Sonya does a spear, and it looks fucking awesome. So there's a slap. Actually, Mandy Rose was very impressive in this match.
She was, yeah. Much better than Sonya, I thought.
Yeah. Sonya, she's kind of redundant now, though, because now that a genuine MMA person is in, her shit looks very fake.
yeah.
I don't know how much training she's actually had. Probably should have looked that up. I don't know if it's more sort of like kicks based or ground and pound, as Michael Cole says. No, pound and ground.
Stairs and chairs.
Stairs and chairs, yeah. Pound and ground is always my favorite one, because you punch the guy, then you take him down. Mm-hmm. We've already punched him, so you've already achieved what you wanted to do. Presumably he's already rocked. Why would you then climb on him? Yeah. You don't have to answer that.
Thank you.
It's not, yes. It's for Cole's mind only. Up next we have Sasha coming out. So we kind of have the because they did it like a team in the build-up, wasn't it? 3 teams technically.
Yeah, that was really cool. I thought that was very nicely booked, and then the way the chamber follows that kind of blueprint was very, very nice. And Bayley and Sasha doing that double hip toss to Sonya into the cage, that was absolutely awesome. And Sasha Banks, she did like a fucking, what do you call it? A combination of moves ending with the bank statement on Mandy Rose, while Bayley came and intercepted Sonya. Well, that was really good, like really solid teamwork. You see that type of thing in tag team matches, and it's always really satisfying to see. So it was great to see it in the chamber. I think that was the moment where Mandy Rose actually tapped out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just as she's going in, Bayley, who's a bit of an idiot by the end of this match. She interrupted. So Mandy Rose is out. Yeah. And then up next we have Mickie James coming in.
Did you catch Michael Cole calling her old?
No, what did he say?
So these were his exact words. Mickie James realizing this might be her last chance at the Raw Championship.
She's 38.
Isn't that such a
Or
ridiculous...
39.
He wouldn't say that about it. It's so... Why would it be her last chance at the Raw? Is he after letting it slip that she's retiring after WrestleMania or something like that? Like, this is such a bizarre comment.
Yeah, possibly, but I guess in their eyes, if you're over 30 and a woman, what fucking good are you?
Mickie is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
She's in really good shape. She's damn good in the ring, and she did a Hurricane Rana on the outside to Sonya from hanging off the cage thing on the chamber, and it was fucking absolutely quality.
She's the veteran here. She's obviously been brought back to kind of especially with your Mandy Roses and Sonya and a couple of other girls were fairly new as like trying to get them over.
Credibility,
but I think she's credibility and all that, exactly. But I think she's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I liked her
brilliant.
outfit as well. It's very Wonder Woman-esque. I think
Yeah,
it might
I
have
was-
actually Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well. Yeah. Also, did you notice what she did to eliminate Sonya? The move that she did. She went.
Flying thingy.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a flying Luthez press without the punches that follow it. From the top rope, Luthez press, bam, pin, 1, 2, 3. So from now on, every time I see someone do the flying nothing, that's what I'm gonna assume they were going for. Because I've never seen anyone do that before. It was so weird.
Last time I saw someone do Luthez press from, I think did she do it from the top of the pod or she did it from the top of the ropes? I think she might do it from the top of the pod.
No, surely the top of the ropes.
Because I was gonna say last time I saw someone do that, it was Lita.
Shit, it
against
was the
Trish.
top of the. It was the top of the pod. Yeah, she Luthez.
It's even more impressive.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, because I saw Lita do that once, and she was out for about a year. That's basically what ended her career. Like she fucked her knee, big time. That is a scary move.
Yeah,
Because
geez.
to take is all that momentum. To do it, you'll be like, if you land straight on your knee, you are fucked.
Yeah.
And fucked for a long time. It was quite nice. So, and then right after that, she's out.
Bailey capitalizing on it and eliminating her.
Yeah. So she's out. We want Mickie chants. You start here, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So we then get Alexa coming out.
Hang
Hang on, have I missed? Oh no, because obviously Sonya was eliminated by Mickey. So
yeah, that's right.
That's
so Sasha or fucking Alexa comes out of the pod and she tries to close the door again, which is always just a really good little beat that you see in the chamber matches. But yeah, Bailey and Sasha chased Alexa along the side of the cage. Eventually they got her. And so you're looking at this and you're like, oh, this is two faces taking on a heel. This is uncharacteristic. And then Sasha does the Disney Simba moment, and
the Lion King finish, as if you wrote that as well.
I've seen it all over Reddit and everything as well. So I was like,
Everyone got the reference. Yeah, that was hilarious. She's got her arm out, she's boots her. By the way, second time she's done that, because she did at the fucking Rumble as well, eliminated her.
Yeah. And Corey Graves at this point is just so damn good on commentary. He's like, I am so tired of being right.
And Coach was like, that was a stupid thing to do, which both have a good point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like he's saying, all along, I knew she was going to fucking cheat on or turn on Bailey. But then Coach is like, yeah, I know, but that's a stupid thing to do because it's 2-on-1. But every woman for herself. That then comes out the old bollocks line. So I then quite enjoyed Alexa and Bailey. They had quite nice spots as well. Mm-hmm. Bailey starts building up the babyface fire, and then Sasha attacks her again with a frog splash and a 2 count. And then Bliss just steals the pin from... Actually, no, Bailey does... No. Who does the frog splash? Oh, yeah, of course, it's Sasha. She's Eddie Bird tribute.
That's right.
So Bliss then steals the pin, so we're now left to Alexa and Sasha.
This was brutal. Sasha's knees to Alexa, and then when Alexa did that counter and kneed her in the back of the neck.
Horrible.
Yeah. So
they're going all out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I say horribly in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. It's brutal in the exact way that I want my wrestling to be. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should mention at this point, this match actually flew by quite well. I actually enjoyed this. It felt quite choreographed. Like everyone knew exactly what they wanted to do. There's no fucking around here. There's no let's just do the things. Like no one improvises a damn thing here.
Yeah, those are
Dude.
my favorite types of matches when they're in the the big spotlight, things that just fall into place around you, and you're like, it just all looks so natural. It's so satisfying when that happens. I really like seeing stuff like that in the chamber, and this match was like that. It was just, I don't know, it was all go from start to finish, and the girls did a really, really good job of putting on a great match.
Definitely. So we'll head into the finish here. So we see the Twisted Bliss off the top of the pod reverse into a bank statement. Burst outside the ring.
This wasn't that great. There was something weird about it, I think. It was like Sasha just didn't really sell very well or something. I don't know. It didn't.
Always the whole finish into finish thing, like.
I fucking hate that trend, and that's a current trend, and it's in everything all the time now. I actually can't stand seeing it.
You could do it once, like because I think the first time I saw it in the Fed, ROH was doing it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because one of my friends is always like, yeah, I love ROH, but they'll do about 17 tombstones and they'll fucking finish with like a roll up followed by a punch followed by a roll up.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
And I remember seeing it was Taker versus Punk. And CM Punk does the go to sleep, and Taker bounces off the ropes, picks him up, does a tombstone, but he also like falls us in to sell it. It's the first time I saw, and I guess I marked out then, but that's not exactly a submission move.
Was that their WrestleMania match?
Yeah.
That was a great match. I was actually marking out at the time too. I was only tuning back in after having a long break from watching, though. I guess like the main time is HBK Undertaker at WrestleMania, where it was a non-stop finisher fest. But seeing it in matches, it's not even the first fucking time in this pay-per-view that this happens. It's just bit, I don't know. It's a bit tired at this point.
I guess an easy thing to go to, where it's like there's no such thing as finishes anymore. Everything's just a signature move.
Yeah.
In the game you get 2 signature moves, you get 2 finishes. Everything is kind of like it could put you down, but it won't. So you get the idea of it could end any moment, but it also leads to the idea of like it takes on average about 2 AAs, one maybe off the top rope.
Yeah.
For you to beat someone. Obviously, there's rules, accepted rules like Braun and all that. We'll get to that later. So, face first off the pod, DDT to the face. DDT to the face, where else would it be? DDT to the arm.
DDT to the knee.
Yeah. Well, you could do that, though. So you lift their leg up and you hook it under your arm. And
Feels
you just
like
fall back.
I feel like Triple H has been doing that for 20 years, but also has never done it.
Yeah, anything knee and methodical could be him.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get
cerebral.
Yeah, state of him when he came out later as well. His head's weird. This is a tease.
It was the brown shoes with the suit that kind of were a little bit weird for me. But yes, so this match that we're watching right now.
None of this happened in this match. Triple H didn't come out. So Bliss wins. She starts to cry. The fans are chanting, "You deserve it." And fucking, this was awesome, wasn't it?
This was fantastic, because I was watching this and I was genuinely like, man, like they do push women's wrestling really hard, and there is definitely a much larger sense of camaraderie amongst the women in the same way that in real life it feels like gay people cherish the concept of relationships way more than straight people because they've had to fight so hard for it. You feel the same way about the women's wrestling, in that it's where they are now, they have had to overcome a fucking hell of a challenge to get to this stage of being recognized like this. And I was like, those tears.
That's
don't
so
seem...
on point. That's very on point, actually. This seems like they're working together. The only thing I don't like about this thing is how on the nose it is, and apparently Stephanie McMahon invented women and women's wrestling. I don't like that side of it.
Yeah, I think though that she says that purely for the promo, right? Because in the promo at the very start, it was Stephanie saying, "There is a revolution." And it's a
You
great...
ready to make history, ladies?
But it's a great little sound clip. It looks great in the promo. And history is only going to remember the promo. It's not going to remember any other shit. So
Yeah, but what I find frustrating, I guess, is like she doesn't book, she doesn't write, she's not an agent, she's like a marketing VP and basically Triple H's right hand. But it doesn't feel like if she came out with like the head trainer or like I think is Cesaro's wife, I can't remember her name.
Finley.
Finley, yeah. I think it's Sarah Del Rey. Yeah, it used to be Finley back in the day with the ladies.
It did, yeah.
But Sarah Del Rey, they both came out and they're like, yeah, we're doing this. And you had some clips of maybe Steph, hanging out. But it just feels like she's going, it was me all along. I mean, if you look up the picture for the Royal Rumble, it's Steph, and she legitimately looks like the puppet master. And everyone else is just like, meh. Now,
isn't that just because it was her idea, though?
Okay, but I said this before, though. Like, imagine if you had WrestleMania, you had Savage, Hogan, Andre, $1 Million Man, Piper, someone else from the Iron Sheik, and just Vince McMahon going, I'm the puppet master. You'd be like, can you fuck off? Like, you're making it weird. I know it wasn't... Listen, things have changed, blah, 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 but...
all I'm hearing is that you're a sexist pig.
I hate Hogan. No, sorry, I hate Steph. No, I hate Hogan. All I'm hearing is pig, pig, pig. I don't know. I just think that they could have put someone else at the forefront of the women's movement.
I'll say this though, like
who isn't called McMahon.
Vince might not have done that, but Vince did win the fucking Royal Rumble, and Vince did win the world title, and Vince found plenty of ways to put himself on the fucking cover of posters and shit. So.
That is true, and he has degraded his fair share of blonde women.
Yeah.
Tori, Stacy, Trish.
Yeah. Sable. Yeah.
It's an Elimination Chamber bra and panties match. So it's just like a normal match, but in the chamber. Each lady gets a pillow. Yeah, so maybe keep him away from... keep this 79-year-old man away. You're right. It is for the soundbite, and it is so it's like they have a face as such. Because it would be weird, I guess, if no one announced it and they were just like, "Yeah, we're having an Elimination Chamber, ladies." Well, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's fine. So sorry, Alexa does some fake crying here.
Yeah, and then her heel turn, her heel return.
Return
was brilliant. And
she did a 360 in a promo, which is quite impressive.
Would you not call it a 180 though? Because if it's a 360, you're just going to end up back where you were.
Yeah, which is a heel.
Oh yeah, okay. So she did a 180.
She goes heel. Does 180, goes to the crying, and then there's another. Yeah, so.
Wow, you were totally right. You just fucking owned me with my smart comment. Wouldn't it be a 360? Yeah, no, I've been owned. Miguel is going to do the rest of the podcast. I'm going to sit this one out.
The rest of the podcast will now be described by turns and movements and whether it's a 360 or a 180 all the time. No, I quite like that. She's like, yeah, this is for all the girls who dream big, and she's like, reality is all you fucks ain't gonna do jack shit.
Yeah.
What a heel. I mean, to fake cry like that, that's a skill in itself.
Yeah, she's absolutely great. I feel like such a moron for really confidently saying during our Rumble episode, there's no way she's going to WrestleMania.
Oh, she's going all right.
There's no way she's going to be the champion at WrestleMania. That's an actual quote from me at the Rumble episode, thinking that I knew anything about wrestling, which I don't.
You weren't even talking about anything at that point.
No, I just dropped it in. Like
that was during the men's Rumble.
Yeah, we were talking about Steve Blackman, and I was like, by the way, Alexa Bliss.
Yo, can you not talk about Alexa? She's not going to win the Rumble. She's not going to be champion. Okay.
You're a fucking idiot if you think that's going to happen.
Dave Meltzer told me so. Triple R is here. Rowdy, Ronda, Rowdy, I believe is her name. I'm not too sure. Is she famous for anything?
No, absolutely
Never
not.
heard of her. Who did she ever beat in a fake sport, right?
Joe Rogan podcast? Yeah.
So this is where we get a Michael Cole fib, the monster of amongst men. Like, he just forgets who he's talking about there.
That fucking promo was really weird as well. It's like
Which one
filmed
was this?
the fucking Braun one, where it was like filmed in a bar with a
Oh,
microwave.
they do this all the time. They do like handheld promos now.
Who?
Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone does it. It's every time if you because sometimes I watch Raw. I don't watch it all the time.
It's alright. You don't have to be ashamed.
I just like fucking yeah. I'm just saying, like, if anyone can make it through that show every week, then do a podcast, because you're probably one of the few people that have watched it,
that's true.
and people will be looking to know what happened there. But yeah, every time they cut to a promo, though, it's all like, we're Absolution, we're gonna kick your ass. It's like, why can no one ask you that? Why are you telling us, like, we the audience asked you? I suppose that's the point, isn't it? It's like, whoa, it's so cool. They're just on their phones, just like me. Fuck off.
There's something really unsettling about knowing that Braun Strowman has a mobile phone.
Yeah, I saw that footage of Big Show and WCW on his computer when they did that the chat thing. Don't know if you remember that in the
Jesus.
pay-per-views.
Very,
And he's just
very
like
vaguely.
He's like typing away. And Mean Gene was like $150 to talk to Big Show. Because those things are expensive. Yeah. So up next we have The Bar versus the Black Man Who Must Dance.
Yes.
Are you black, sir? Yes, I am. Can you dance? Now, little bit of trivia for everyone. As far as I'm aware, I really hope that people don't fucking call me out on this. Are there any other wrestlers who are white in this current roster who dance? Fandango, maybe. But he's more of a dancer. He's not like a normal guy who dances. R-Truth dances. Apollo now dances. Titus O'Neil now dances.
You had Brodus Clay at the... Albert.
Brown. Yeah, okay, yeah. He was Japanese, as far as I was aware.
Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexay.
2000. But that was in the era of, like, these guys are wacky. White man can't dance.
I thought when you said around that you meant just on the planet.
Oh, right, sorry. I should
No, I
specify.
didn't really think that. I just tried really hard to come up with something.
There aren't many, though.
No.
But, that's what you can do. What's with Dana Brooke being like a teacher? Statistician, whatever.
So I don't know, but it was really funny just looking at her taking notes. She was writing a fucking novel down there on the side. Like there was a moment where her pen did not come up from that page for a good, 25 minutes, which in a 10-minute match is very impressive.
She used to hang around with Charlotte as like her bodyguard not that long ago. I didn't realize she wasn't a full-time wrestler.
Yeah, I remember that when she I think she debuted with Charlotte, did she?
I think she was like her bodyguard a little bit.
She helped her win a few matches, I remember, during the mega run that Charlotte had. But
the first women's revolution, sort of like 2015, 2016, wasn't
that's
it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
This match...
What's going on here?
this... I don't know what it is. So I like seeing Sheamus against Titus. Two big, huge guys, both with Irish names.
I fucking hate Titus.
Yeah.
Titus O'Neil.
Apollo Crews is like the least charismatic man ever. I do like him though. He's decent. But I wasn't really that into this match. It's not that it was bad. It was actually pretty damn good. I just didn't really care for it. There was at one point Sheamus had Apollo in a sleeper hold for 4 minutes, and that I just do not fucking care for, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't have many notes on this. The only note that I have is hilariously when Sheamus slips going off the top rope.
Yeah, that was great. And it was so fucking good the way
It worked into the match.
Coach and Corey were both able to salvage that, where Michael
Straight
Cole
away.
was left clueless chasing his tail. Do you want to hear my entire notes that I have written on this?
Go for it.
The Bar versus Titus Worldwide. Dash. Fairly standard affair, comma, the Bar wins.
Yeah. So match. Actually, maybe it's because I was bevying up and that. Maybe it's because of that. I think I actually enjoyed the match. I didn't think it was good or bad. I was just like, yeah, this is okay. I basically, because I expected nothing from Titus Worldwide. And Titus doesn't have a lot of moves.
How wrong you were.
He's got a slam, he's got big boots, and he really feels like out of place in this current roster. Because the other three lads can work. Like, I'm not saying they're the most charismatic people or going to be world champions, but one of them already was. But yeah.
Do you remember that time he touched Vince McMahon and got banned for like 6 months?
Yeah.
That was fucking weird, wasn't it?
I remember that. That was the weirdest thing. He was about to get into a scrap with fucking Vince McMahon because they were like clapping Danny O'Brien.
Yeah.
And I think Vince went to like shake someone else's hand and Titus was like, grab my hand. And he got all angry. It was very strange. Well, Danny O'Brien's like crying, like, what's going on? The flow of the match is kind of summed up at the end was faces, heels, big face comeback, heel win.
Yeah.
Rather have the Bar than Titus Worldwide as champions.
Yeah, I like the Bar. They're pretty damn good.
Yeah, probably the best tag team they have.
In history.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying so casually. Probably the best of all time.
Yeah.
I feel for those lads though when they eventually split them because they were doing fuck all before.
Yeah.
And they got themselves over. They got themselves a nice gimmick. It feels like it's kind of their. I guess I suppose like with most people these days, there's a personal touch. But yeah, I do fear for these guys when they split up. Up next we have Asuka versus. Did I say that really racistly just then?
No, I didn't.
Asuka.
I didn't. Oh, there you did.
Asuka.
I used to think it was Asuka because I am an idiot.
I think you can say it both ways.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah. Do you know, just a little side note, I really don't like it when people get super offended if you don't say their name right. Especially if you haven't heard it before.
What do you mean, Manuel?
Oh, fuckity off. Someone at work has called me Manuel.
I know, and someone has spelled it to you in an email like the word manual.
And then I went, that's not my name. It's in the signature. It's all over the email. And they were like, oh, sorry, I was just doing some manual work. Fuck off. You fuck right off. That excuse does not hold on for a second.
Doesn't make any sense. That's like me saying like, hi, PlayStation. Oh, sorry, I was just playing my PlayStation.
I'm here in the show with WWE Network. Oh, I was just watching that. Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Versus Nia Jax, I believe her name is.
This is so in Ireland the Jax is what Americans would call the John. Just if
isn't it? Yeah.
If you're going for a piss, you're going to the Jax. Which is great because there's a band called Basement Jaxx, and it's like, why would you name your band after a toilet in the basement? But yeah, every time I hear them say Jax, like, oh, Asuka and Jax, and I'm just like, all right.
As if like,
hopefully she gets around in when she comes back.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if like it was like what's that fucking called? It's like the sleeper soldier thing. It just makes you piss every time, like in Ireland. There's this epidemic because every time they say Nia Jax, yeah, like triggers your fucking bladder.
Yeah.
Toilet. Like I haven't seen one of her fucking matches.
Yeah.
In ages.
It's like looking at a fountain. It's just.
Yeah. I'm not one to, because I know like Shinsuke and Asuka, like this English isn't their first language, but I actually couldn't understand what Asuka said the first time, which luckily the video package actually played it again when she said, I'm going to make Nia tap out. But I was just like, I understand everything else she said. I was just like, what she's saying there? Asuka's fucking awesome though. She probably just needs to say 10 words.
She is one of the best on the roster. All the roster, men and female. She's fucking brilliant. I actually can't get over how good in the ring she is, and this match was so damn good.
Undefeated, unbroken, all the madness. Yeah, so Nia starts in control. Big ups for Asuka's entrance as well. She looks always fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got her gimmick and her character and her moves tight on point, man. You know, this is what happens when if you work for the better part of like 10, 15 years in Japan, and I'm guessing in America and all that. You come to WWE and you got your shit pretty locked in.
It's crazy that she's 71 years old.
No, Ric Flair
Yeah.
and her, the original intergender match back in 1942.
That's right.
But if you look at Finn, look at Shinsuke, look at AJ, look at Asuka, like they're all people who came into the Fed in their mid to late 30s, and they're all like on point with like the character, what they stand for, parts of their gimmick, which I do enjoy.
Do you think that's true of Finn?
Yeah, I don't think he's given an opportunity. Promo wise, Finn isn't really the biggest talker because from what I saw of him in Japan, he just basically swore quite a lot. Like a lot of fuckings in his promo. So I think he's, honestly, go watch his stuff when he was in the Bullet Club. He's like just fucking this, fucking that. It's actually quite funny.
He is from Bray. So.
Are they quite the sweary types?
I'm prepared to lose listeners. So I only know a few people from Bray, and most of them have stolen things from me. So that's good.
His dignity, his soul, his wallet. It's probably the more important one of them all, the wallet.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nia starts in control, then Asuka starts doing a lot of kicks, beating the shit out of Nia. There's a botch spot, which actually turns into psychology in the match, which I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Nia went for her spinning sort of senton splash, and Asuka rolled inward, which I'm not saying N-word, I'm saying in-word. Sorry, just that, because Asuka rolled N-word. So she rolled because you're supposed to roll outward, so you don't chill. It's like when Justin Gabriel went for a 450 on Randy Orton at the height of the first Nexus feud, and then Randy Orton turned in towards the turnbuckle, so got the knees right on the back.
And then Randy had him assassinated.
Oh yeah, let's just say his push ended there and then. I think he no-sold and just fucking RKO'd him like he did when he fell through the table in his leg. Just did the nah. Just go with it, bro. So pretty good psychology. So Asuka went for a finisher. By the way, if you want to jump in, because I'm going right to the finish here.
I one of the things that I wrote down was about Nia Jax doing the jackhammer. It was like weird. I don't know, was she actually intending to go for the jackhammer, but it was after a succession of like really creative moves, and the way that Asuka worked the match to try and go after Nia in different creative ways was really, really good, and Nia countering it each time with some like powerhouse move, just kind of putting her back in her place, was great. But the jackhammer turn was really, really nice, and it looked not perfect, it looked kind of scrappy, and that's what made it look so good, if you know what I mean. Like CM Punk scrappy, where it's scrappy but it's good because it makes it look real.
It's wrestling scrappy, it's not like botched.
Yeah, exactly. And Asuka sort of like flying around the place doing different things was just really, really good to see. Take it to the finish.
Roll up. 1, 2, 3. Asuka wins with a roll up, which again, it's how you beat monsters, I guess. It's the fluky.
Yeah, it's either that or you use their power against them, like what Punk did to Viscera on ECW, because there's a reference that everyone fucking has readily available in their head.
Is that when Viscera was Big Daddy V, or was he still Viscera?
I'm pretty sure he was Viscera. I think he had been Big Daddy V, and then he went back to being Viscera.
He used to do a move, which was he'd basically like 69 you and like shag you.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't like him. I think he's dead now, but he put his hands on Lillian Garcia, and that just sends me into a fiery pit of jealous rage. Cause
left her at the altar, bro.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be like hearing that for the first time, like, what?
No.
Where is he?
Listen, I know everything about Lillian Garcia. I love her and will one day marry her.
Should we do the Lillian Garcia arc next?
Yeah. Her first championship run.
Yeah, she first called Raw in 99 and went away, and then apparently fell over, and they hate her sometimes backstage. Triple H hates her. Called her a horse quite a lot. in his babyface DX run as well.
Triple H
What?
has a fucking lot of nerve calling Lillian Garcia a horse when there is one distinguishable feature on Triple H's face. I'm just, oh man.
Actually, there's more than one now, because, yeah, he did not look great, but more on that later.
Yeah.
So we talked about this. Obviously, we're texting while we're watching this. We see Alexa Bliss watching the match or the post-match from the weirdest angle. I know it's a meme now for internet wrestling fans to do the like. Don't know if you've seen this. It'll be people at home standing in the same way the wrestlers do. Very funny. But I've never seen it from that much of a side angle.
Yeah.
Would you say she's about 90 degrees to the TV, or 180 or 360, brother? Yeah, so yeah, she looks at it from a really odd angle. Nia is fucked off and is going for a beatdown. Beatdown Clan.
Yeah, that's right. And Alexa Bliss is delighted. She's like, hell yeah, this is what I want to see.
This will probably put Asuka out for 6 weeks till WrestleMania. It's grand.
Probably.
It's fine. I'll be fine. Which ends up with a spear for the barricade, which is pretty cool seeing the ladies do that, because you never get those mad spots.
You
do
get a bit tired of hearing commentators react to that in the same way every fucking time, though, don't you? It can't be surprising anymore. Like, someone fucking strengthened that one particular part of the barrier, for crying out loud.
When Goldberg did it to, like, I think it was like Rosie, he fucking murdered him.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit like when the ring falls. It's like, really? So you just built the ring badly again? This happens far too much.
Yeah, but this happens, like, more frequently than steel chair shots do in this day and age.
Yeah. But the odd thing is, as well, with the ring collapse is, how come when they're like, oh my god, it's Big Show, and I think the most recent one was Big Show and Strowman, and Big Show and Henry, and Big Show and Lesnar, I think. And he's like, oh my god, the ring broke, we should have it reinforced. How come it doesn't break at the Rumble? You surely have more weight around the Rumble. Or
over 700 million tons.
Ish.
Yeah.
Give or take a couple of pounds. So then we go to probably my favorite bit of the whole event.
The big dog. The
No.
promo from the big dog. Big promo from a big dog.
I didn't even register that in the brain. Or the eyes, more importantly than the brain. We get the Matt Hardy, the journey to being broken.
Yeah.
The best promo. I love Matt Hardy now. Like, I know I was giving him a lot of shit back in the Vengeance episode, and I still do give Matt Hardy that version of him quite a lot of shit. And
version 0, version 1, or woken or broken. Yeah, Matt Hardy, like, I fucking broken Matt Hardy, like, I absolutely dig the whole thing. He's great, but Matt Hardy, I'm not that into.
Matt Hardy, don't hurt Lita, Jeff.
Exactly.
It just talks about how he was in this traveling through time and space, and he was in this vessel. But I love the idea that, like, so that means that Matt Hardy, all along in his career, so if you go back and watch Matt Hardy matches when he was like 2000, 2001 in the Hardy Boys, or even his V1, all along he had like woken Matt inside of him, and he's like wrestling with that in his brain and being like, oh, don't have a breakdown, which now makes his whole character hilarious.
Especially with V1, because Matt Hardy V1 was fucking really weird. Like, he used to come out, remember, and it used to say on the side, like, Matt Hardy, and then it would have a really weird fact about him. So, like,
Hates mustard. I remember that one.
That kind of thing. So he's obviously had this in him anyway. Like, he's obviously wanted to be more expressive than Lita's boyfriend who'll win the European title every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. He also had, remember that, because he had the Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
The 3070. Oh, yeah! And he'd come out like a fucking, basically like the quality of the videos in 2002 and 3, where it was like, 50 KBs or whatever the fuck.
And Monster Magnet with the tune. Fucking
with the
badass band.
Couldn't pay him enough, as the song says 17 times at the end.
Pay me.
I fucking love Monster Magnet, dude. They're absolutely dope.
Same. I actually downloaded their best of, and it's actually decent.
Solid. It's solid. Dopes to Infinity is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's in my top 10 favorite songs of all time, without a doubt.
Dead Christmas is really good as well. Don't know if you've heard that one.
Yeah, and there's Into the Void or something. Is that the other one? That's
Yes,
really good too.
yeah. One of which used to have a very, very offensively racist name when you downloaded it on fucking, was it?
Oh, they all
LimeWire?
fucking did it on LimeWire, didn't they? There's a Blink-182 song called Untitled, and someone on LimeWire decided to title it with the most offensive name imaginable. So I don't know.
Yeah. F U N word was one of the
yeah.
songs by Monster Magnet, and I actually thought they called it that. And I was like, wow, it's a bit dark.
These don't seem like stoner rockers at all.
Yeah, they seem to be on some sort of agenda here, which is odd. Yeah, so we didn't get the Matt Hardy breakdown. It cuts back to Bray, back and forth. So you got him going, yes. It was just fucking awesome. So when Matt Hardy's coming out, like, great entrance. Glad the fact that when the promo ended, the screen broke and they came out.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey Graves points out that in a past vessel in Las Vegas, he had dinner with Frank Sinatra
And Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin.
The Rat Pack.
Except he said Samuel Davis Jr., which is even better, more on point.
Because that's like how Matthew Hardy would call him.
Exactly, yeah.
So then Bray comes out, which I quite like. He just appeared.
I missed the entrance though.
I do love the entrance, obviously. But he always does that, doesn't he? There's always like a little glitch to it. 'Cause sometimes the song won't even start, and he's sat on the chair.
Yeah.
And sometimes he comes out. We're here.
You know, the best is when it's just.
That's all it is. How do they do this though? How does he run in the ring?
Back in the day when all of these things used to go up on PW Torch and those Angel Fire websites and all that, and you'd get the spoilers for SmackDown from someone who actually attended it with a laptop and fucking wrote everything down and posted it online at the time. Yes. So someone that did that regularly used to comment on how it was hilarious how on TV during the Randy Orton Undertaker feud of 2007, I think it was, or something like that, with the that it culminated in the Hell in a Cell thing with Bob Orton and all.
Hepatitis Orton.
That's right, Hepatitis Orton, to give him his proper title.
Yeah, he had hepatitis and he didn't tell anyone. He bled on Taker. And then he got the shit kicked out of him.
When Taker was having a fucking resurgence of the whole evil thing, and he would just turn up, lights would turn off, Taker would appear in the ring. He's under the ring. The lights go off, but they don't go off fully in the arena because you cannot darken an entire arena full of people. And he just crawls out from under the ring and then gets in position. And that's why you don't hear the reaction like straight away when it comes back on. Not on live thing. You hear it on SmackDown, all right. It would be fully dark, and then Taker would appear. People would be like, but when it's live, it's like it goes dark, and then you hear the crowd cheer, and then the guy appears. I don't know if they still do it that way, but that's the way it used to be done anyway. 10 years ago. So
I guess they could have during the promo package, I guess they could have Bray dressed as like a ring crew guy, and he just crawls under the ring.
I don't think Bray would be very inconspicuous.
Yeah, he wouldn't stick out. He would not stick out. Who's that 300-pound dude with the fucking beard and the fucking
tattoos?
The dreadlocks as well. Yeah, that's just the ring crew. That's just ring crew Steve. Don't ask any questions. Oh, he's under the ring. So it's pretty cool. So he then appears, and Matt Hardy's not there, and Matt Hardy starts laughing. And he will be obsolete, and he will be deleted.
This is great though, cause seeing Bray get a taste of his own medicine, like he's just so like, where are you? Let's be having you.
Let's be having you, man. I quite like the fact as well during the promo. Side note, he's like, Matt Hardy is a foolish and disturbed man.
Yeah.
No one should listen to him. Like, that's not Bray Wyatt the character. That's Bray Wyatt the man being like, listen. This guy is beyond me.
Guy.
This guy's gone madder than me. Don't listen to him. But it's also kind of a wink and a kind of, because he's mad as well. And he's kind of going, ooh, don't trust crazy people, but, trust me, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Which is pretty dank. Which is thank you in German. So there you go. So... Matt Hardy then sneaks out, and it's quite cool how this is done. Obviously, he was on the side of the ring by the steps, or the chairs, as Michael Cole would call it, and he jumps out and does a little flying elbow at him.
Yeah, the like a double axe handle type deal.
Yeah.
That was a cool start to the match. They kind of have to do something new at this point because this is their second or third match together, right? And it's
they've had a few, and they had the thing at the Rumble where they teamed up and eliminated someone.
Yeah, they're certainly not a dream pairing, I don't think.
No, and I think this is going to WrestleMania, based on the finish here.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the match just because I love broken Matt Hardy, and I got a lot of time for him. I have no time for Bray Wyatt, but I will say this. Bray Wyatt had Matt Hardy in a chin lock, and the crowd was going fucking crazy booing him. It's like, I couldn't think of anyone who actually gets booed. As it gets, obviously how much they love Matt, now how much they dislike Bray.
I don't know. I kind of got the impression that the crowd weren't really that into the match. Like they're into chanting delete and stuff, but that really waned by the end of the match. They weren't doing it anymore. They weren't going along with them. They also chanted some other shit. Like they didn't chant CM Punk, but the fucking Husky Harris chant and.
Was that what that was? Because I was trying to make that one out for fucking ages.
Yeah, and there was another thing. They chanted something else. Not CM Punk, but something along those lines.
I know they chanted Happy Rusev Day or Rusev Day.
Yeah, Rusev Day as well, yeah. I don't like that shit. Like, it's... Like, fine...
Trying to get themselves over, isn't it?
Yeah, like, fine, you paid money to be there and you're not quite satisfied with them. But, like fuck off doing... Like,
yeah.
It's
especially I think it's worse when it comes to previous gimmicks.
Yeah.
There's
just no need for that, really.
Oh, you're a clever guy. You know what it used to be called 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Well done, you. You've been on Wikipedia. Taste. Yeah. So there's a bit here that really confused me about the commentary. By the way, Coach did try and save the mad chance by being like, "Hey, this crowd is as crazy as Matt Hardy." Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
And I think he did a pretty good job at that too.
Yeah.
He said something like they're buying into Matt's broken brain and all that. And there's another cool thing. Sorry, just before you talk about the commentary, when Bray was going to do the spider walk thing, and Matt was like, "Oh, that's very impressive, Bray. Let's have a standing ovation. Very impressive." That was great.
He's like, "Oh, well done, you."
Yeah, that was
nicely
fantastic.
done. Asuka had a similar spot at the Rumble, which actually I didn't get to talk about, but I did have it on my notes that reminded me of. So when Ember Moon comes out, Ember Moon's got her arm taped. And then it's her and Asuka doing a stare, and Asuka's going, "Oh, your arm is fucked, is it? Well, you're in fucking trouble here." But she had a sort of like, "Oh," like she just became aware of it, which I really enjoyed. Same with Matt. He's like, "Well done, sir. Well done. That is an amazing bit of spider walking." Bray's like,
"Yeah,
this guy's trolling me." Matt Hardy is basically an internet troll.
Yeah.
He is the YouTube comments come to life.
It was kind of a fuck you to Bray as well. Like, you do this all the time.
That's burial.
Like,
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, at some point, Corey Graves actually fucks me off here because he's like, Bray Wyatt claims to be a god. He's that insane. He's that crazy. Alexa Bliss is called a goddess. So is she as mad as Bray? Or it's odd because it's like, yeah, she's the goddess. She's the goddess. Bray Wyatt's like, I'm a god. Are you fucking crazy, man? Like, it doesn't work like that. You'd have to be like, he thinks he's, I don't know, just make some reference to be like, this guy thinks he's bigger than Jesus, just like the Beatles.
Do you know what's very strange, though, is that I didn't know Alexa Bliss was called the goddess, and I was about to text you saying Alexa Bliss is a goddess.
Were you?
Yeah, I absolutely love her. I think she's fucking incredible.
5 feet of fury.
But to her, like, see, that's me backing Corey up, because you don't question whether or not Alexa is a goddess, because she is quite clearly a goddess. Like, we can all agree.
Eyeshadow says so, and she says so. But I guess you wouldn't question it with her, but it's just the idea of like, so one person says something, and it's like, yeah. But actually, that's real life, isn't it? Is the world we live in. This is a metaphor here that some people can say one thing and some people say the same thing later on. And everyone's like, that's crazy. But
what I don't get is how many worlds would you say you have to eat in order to get the title the Eater of Worlds?
Well, the universe is ever expanding.
That's
So-
true. Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, would you say? Because
On a day, you'd be doing quite well.
when did he eat all of these worlds?
At breakfast. I think at a globe cake. I don't know, really. This is what I mean. There's a lot about Bray Wyatt that it's been so long, but he hasn't evolved.
No.
He hasn't said anything. Other than that time he dressed as fucking Sister Abigail when he was feuding with Finn Balor. And he was like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And then Finn Balor had the fucking shit promo when he, like, stared at the camera. And then there was some special effects and he turned into the fucking demon. And that was probably the point where most people were already sick of Bray Wyatt. And that was, like, the tipping point of, like, right, you are very close to being Dolph Ziggler here, mate. Very close.
He pretty much is, yeah. Just a Dolph Ziggler in the occult or something. And it's I really like Bray. I've got a lot of time for the guy. I think he tries to do things and he gets turned down by creative. I get that impression that he's a real driving force behind the gimmick and stuff. And I also think there's probably some conflicting feelings about him backstage from creative. I think half the team like him and half the team don't like him because every time he seems to get a push, it's subsequently pushed back even harder than before, and he's just kind of trapped. And I don't know, maybe he needs to. I think he does evidently need to reinvent himself in some way, but I don't know how we would go about that. But losing clean to broken Matt Hardy is just not good.
That is a sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a sign that you are going, because I don't think this Matt Hardy character is getting anything remotely close to a push.
No.
You probably will see him. If Jeff comes back before Mania, maybe they'll get a title match, and then Jeff will also come out broken. But you're most likely going to see him in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I just don't see him. It'll be a main event at a pre-show. But he did it. I'm glad that Matt won out of these two at this point. I don't think a Bray Wyatt face run is the answer here, but I also don't think that maybe just get Sister Abigail out. Just find a cool looking indie wrestler, or maybe someone on NXT, someone who's got like the gothy thing going on. Bring him out as some of the rumors were saying it was going to be Paige, before she came back with Absolution.
Yeah, I remember that.
What the fuck? She's from Norwich. She's like there in the backwoods.
I am Sister Abigail.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Should we round off this match and then do a quick ad break?
Yes, we should.
Because I need a piss. I don't give a shit about the ad.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to WWP, the wrestling podcast to end all wrestling podcasts. This episode is sponsored by WWP because we can't find anyone else to sponsor us. So while you're here, please check out the links in the description to our YouTube channel, our Twitter, our iTunes feed, and our Instagram page. Thanks for listening. WWP, slam it!
And we are back live, except not at all live. So the Matt Hardy thing, like, any final thoughts on that? I think like we kind of hit the nail on the head, saying that it looks bad for Bray and may go to WrestleMania, and that's that, I guess.
Yeah. If they're not in WrestleMania, they'll be both in the fucking Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but maybe a hardcore match. That's all I can think of. But yeah, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And so right person won in my opinion. Fresher gimmick, and hopefully the fans won't be as annoying in this next segment. I think that they will.
Yeah. Rowdy
Here we go.
Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a really simple moment in the pay-per-view. Kurt Angle comes out with a contract. Triple H comes out. Stephanie comes out. They all shake hands with Kurt Angle and everything, and then Ronda Rousey comes out. Absolutely love her.
Sorry. Quick side note: Triple H looks like a ball sack.
Okay.
And carry on.
I think it's weird that he's wearing brown shoes with the suit. Anyway,
How ball sacky of him to do that. Yeah, I don't know. His head's all like fucking. I know all the lines, and I guess all the blading over the years is just caught up with him.
listen, I love Hunter, and I will never say a bad word about him, apart from when he says something bad about Lillian Garcia, who is possibly the only person on the planet that I love more than Hunter. Well, apart from Goldberg, who... Anyway, listen, this is a vicious cycle we've gotten ourselves into here. So,
Book it. Triple threat. Book it now. For the love of El De Niro. Let's book that fucking match.
Rousey's music is awesome. It's a really good song, and it's really cool that they're letting her have that.
That's what she used to come out to UFC, wasn't it? I'm not sure because I never watched UFC. I don't watch UFC generally.
You know, I actually don't know, and I've watched every single one of her fights in UFC, and I have no fucking clue what she comes out to. I don't know what any of them come out to. So
there was that story about that fighter who kept coming out to like Kylie Minogue and all this weird stuff. Actually, I don't know if this was... I don't know, I saw this floating around years ago. I don't know if it's true, but I thought it's a funny story. Like, and he was like, yeah, I don't know why they keep picking this music. And they're like, but they asked you. And he's like, no, they don't. They just play it. And it turns out that the UFC guys were texting a different number. So not that fighter's number. It was just like some random guy. And he would just come up with like, yeah, play Barbie Girl. And he would just come out to Barbie Girl. Because obviously it wouldn't be like, are you sure? I was like, oh, then maybe that gets him all psyched up, you know. Gets in the opponent's head.
That's weird though, because Dana White wouldn't let Mickey Gall come out to, hey Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind, hey Mickey.
Really?
Yeah, they wouldn't let him do it, and then
even Mickey James comes out to the shit version of that.
Yeah, but the whole internet was like, fuck you, Dana White, let the fucking kid come out to the music that he wants. So they let him. They bowed to that pressure, but like. They didn't allude to that in any different way. I also know that CM Punk comes out to Cult of Personality in UFC. Other than that,
will he ever though? Again, that's the big cue.
Conor McGregor comes out to the Foggy Jew with a nice bit of Biggie in there. Nate Diaz comes out to Tupac sometimes. Yeah, UFC.
What did Brock Lesnar come out to?
Enter Sandman. It was a fuck you to Hardcore Holly.
And to the Sandman.
Enter Sandbag.
Unless he came out with the beer and the cane, just smashing his head like a ECW original.
Lesnar is a massive Metallica fan.
Yeah, there's like a video that always comes up on my suggestions of like rock bands wrestlers are into. But I watched 2 seconds of it and it was like, you know when you see those like lower end guys interview famous people, but their mics are fucking horrible, so they might as well be 2 miles away. I was like, I can't put up with this amateurism.
Lesnar has Kill 'Em All tattooed on his tramp stamp region, so there you go. So
that's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. So Rousey comes out, the fans go crazy for her, which is pretty cool. She is like really visibly I'm so fucking happy for her, can I just say. I know that
she's having a great time.
People don't like her. She's kind of a villain. Like she's kind of like, she thinks 9/11 was an inside job, that kind of thing. She bought into her own hype a little bit. She really badly prepared for the Holly Holm fight and things like that. But I don't necessarily think that these things make a bad person, and I don't think she deserves any of the negative press that she gets, because it seems largely just based on like when she lost to Holly Holm, the fucking internet was delighted, and people were circulating photos of her bloodied face.
Yeah, every time she tweeted something.
Yeah,
once again, it is schadenfreude at its best.
People don't do that when McGregor lost to Diaz. People didn't do that. Like the people made memes about it, but it was always in a different context.
It's also a woman thing. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, it totally is.
Pretty mean to them.
I
don't get what's not to like about it. Do you?
No, I actually don't. And I have
from a wrestling perspective, not like let's put all the realities aside. Let's take the cold hard facts, like what she achieved in UFC.
Is she good for business?
Wrestling. Yeah,
like
she is as good as Brock Lesnar is for the business.
She fucking it. Like, real quick, live. We are a live production here. So let's go to Google Trends, and let's make a comparison. So I'm gonna type in. No, hold on. I've done this all wrong. Google Trends compare.
Hulk Hogan sex tape.
Fucking Ronda Rousey and Hulk Hogan sex tape. Ronda Rousey compared with, like, give me any wrestler.
Off the top of my head, the Elimination Chamber's going.
Braun Strowman.
Sabu.
Sabu. Right, so, like, Ronda Rousey is, like, fucking about 400 times more popular than Braun Strowman.
There you go. And she should be, by the way.
Possibly even more. So she is a huge coup for the business, and she loves the business. So
yeah, she says it in the promo.
So let's get straight down to this. There is a lot of fucking hate about this, and I don't really get why. So the main criticism is that I've seen people say Ronda Rousey should never talk. Listen, lads, it's her first fucking promo, right? And her reaction, her nerves, her excitement, that's organic.
She's almost in tears.
But it is literally relevant to the situation. You were about to see her kayfabe sign her fucking contract.
Yeah.
Of course she's gonna show us. Yeah, like it's completely, it's where kayfabe meets reality in this mishmash of the real and the unreal. Like, you don't get to have that both ways. Like, fair, she could have been more composed. That is true. But it's her first ever promo.
But like, she's talking like a normal person would.
Exactly, she's totally talking like a normal person. Like, she doesn't, like, slur her words badly. She doesn't, I don't know.
It's a bit quiet, a bit timid.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. She has no, like, oomph in her voice. There's no, like, amplification, right? But that's fine. She's also responding to the chants. Like, people are really happy until they start chanting Holly Home. Like, there's like a section of, like, I don't know, 8 people really close to the camera, and they're chanting Holly Home. Well, like, what the fuck?
Start by chanting her name. Yeah, and then, after the first initial Ronda chant, you just, Holly Home, Holly Home.
Yeah,
good guys.
I'm not into that kind of, like, you're just sabotaging the fucking product that you're paying money to see. It's ridiculous. It's just a fucking stupid thing to do. I don't know.
I love her. I think she's fucking awesome, and I think she's good for the business, both in a term of giving it credibility. And when I say credibility, it's brackets credibility, because we know, everyone knows it's fake, but it gives eyeballs. I think it gives the women's division, from a kayfabe point of view, legit credibility. It makes everyone step up. And the fact that she could batter most human beings in that arena, if not all of them, in that arena, legit, you know. But we don't like. It's odd. It's like, you've got real credentials. Oh, we don't like you. Like, this isn't fucking, Shaquille O'Neal doing a stare down with a Big Show. She's going to be in the roster.
Has she ever done backflips in bingo halls, though?
No.
That's people are going to be so hurt by that comment.
No idea what that even means, but okay. I'll do that later. So there's a hilarious bit. So she talks about Piper's a hero. She's a bit choked up. And in the background, you just see Kurt Angle and Triple H bickering.
Yes.
Again, it's like the Matt Hardy thing. I was in stitches, like,
oh man,
what's going on here? And Kurt's like, yeah, I've been listening to you guys talk about this and I remember you guys saying 3 years in the making and we own the bitch. It's like, fucking hell, Kurt.
Oh, dude. So he said 3 years in the making and now we own the bitch. And Triple H was supposed to cut in and go, hey, before he said, right, but he full on says bitch. This exact thing happened before with Triple H. I think it was Edge. Edge was like standing on the ramp or something. Maybe it was CM Punk. I don't know. Someone stood on the ramp and said a swear word, and Triple H was supposed to cut them off. And after they like belted out the entire word, Triple H goes, hey, whoa. He's so bad at this.
Because there's also the Booker T one. I hope that's not the one you mentioned, when The Rock's like, Shane, the silver spoon sucker, and Booker T, the punk ass motherfucker. He actually says it because Booker T's supposed to cut him off. I think Jericho talks about in his book, it's like, you just said that word in full live on Raw. But this felt very same. It was like, Kurt, shut up. Damn it, 2 seconds late.
Yeah.
It's right. I love this because I guess maybe Steph's been belittling Kurt on Raw kind of, in her usual way with no payoff. Mm-hmm. And I love the idea of Kurt being like, yeah, I know I'm technically working under you, but I'm just going to snitch.
Yeah.
Like, if it was up to Kurt, that signing wouldn't happen. He's like, yeah, what are you talking shit about her, like, at WrestleMania 31? He's like, Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
It's so good. And then Triple H's response to that, when he was just like, "Sorry, Ronda, Kurt has been down with the flu, and now he's had a relapse."
And we're just gonna take him to the back. Off you go, Kurt. And that's when he says the last thing. And he does sort of like a
Yeah.
big stupid goofy look on his face. I love this. I thought this was like Kurt Angle, you know, if he wasn't in the Hall of Fame for anything he's ever done, he should go in the Hall of Fame for entertaining, because he is like, not just wrestling ability is what I mean. Not he's achieved in Olympics and all that. He is a world class promo. He can do comedy and seriousness. Very impressive.
I doubt he'll ever end up in the Hall of Fame, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
It's just not good enough.
2020 could be his year. We'll see. Goes on Wikipedia. What? Did you like the fact? Obviously, because now they chant the "you suck" thing. Obviously, they did it all along. But I love the idea when he's a face, he's like, "Yeah,
This is what I want to hear.
I suck."
Louder.
Motivate me, fans.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Kurt Angle, right? I wouldn't have him in my gang. He'd snitch you right up, wouldn't he?
He fucking would. He used to be the Godfather, though, so.
The main event mafia.
Yeah.
He'd come out in a suit with a little rose on him, with all these other 50-year-olds, and TNA. Yeah. So that Steph says, she's like, when we did think about you since WrestleMania 31, because when you almost broke my arm, I respected that. So if anyone wants a job, just fucking go up to Steph and just nut her. She'll be like, you have broken my nose, but yeah, I'm impressed with your... I hate that whole thing, because that happens in video games as well. Like, your character will get into a fight with, like, a couple of goons, and then the leader comes out and he's like, I'm impressed with the way you smashed most of my men. Work with me.
That is so fucking true.
It happens in action films as well, where it's like the undercover cop, and it's like, oh, listen, you've got to earn your way in, so just batter a couple of his, like, jobber squad, and you'll make it through. So she's doing the fucking Godfather thing. It's like, you battered most of my men. Join us. So Kurt Angle then says the bitch thing. Triple H is like, sign it. Then I think Triple H gets in Kurt's face, then Ronda gets in Triple H's face. She then she pops her hips very quick when she put Triple H through the table.
Yeah, she moved like a damn demon.
Yeah. Like a rowdy Ronda Rousey would. Yeah, puts him through the table, and then Steph slaps her, and she squares up to her. And, here we go, WrestleMania.
Here we are at WrestleMania.
A 47-year-old woman and her 50-year-old husband against another 50-year-old and Ronda Rousey. Now, I'm in two minds about this, because I actually think, and this is without, I haven't read the dirt sheets, this is just me, a man watching this, thinking this through. I think it's going to be Asuka going to SmackDown and challenging Charlotte. And then Steph is going to recruit Bliss by saying, you're the goddess, you're this, you're that. Because Asuka might be like, I want a bigger challenge, I've already beaten you, I'm going after, the greatest. And then, so this infuriates Bliss, and she's like, well, Steph's like, who can you take it out on? Well, I'll tell you, Ronda, go out there and prove that you're the best. So then it feels a little bit more equal. So it's not the businesswoman and the businessman versus the other slightly lesser businessman and the UFC killing machine.
Well, Ronda is definitely going on Raw, so that's a prediction I made at the Rumble, and as we discussed earlier, everything I said in the Rumble episode has come true. So everything. So Ronda will definitely be on Raw, no doubt about it. But would they sacrifice Asuka though? I guess you can have Asuka and Ronda face to face. That's got to be like a Rumble moment or something.
Yeah. And Ronda needs a lot of training before she's even having one-on-one matches or any length of title, unless obviously she smashes everyone. But even then, if you're in the main event, you are required to at least have longer matches.
Yeah.
Whichever roster you're in. So I think she might be doing a lot of because I thought, like, if they don't go the tag team route, which I probably think that they will, I was thinking maybe she'll be the enforcer so that Nia doesn't get involved in Alexa's match versus Asuka.
Yeah.
Special ref, sort of Mike Tyson looking thing. So Kurt Angle is basically doing The Rock's job at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah, I guess they couldn't afford the insurance for The Rock.
No, they could not, and he ain't like, he doesn't need to anymore. He needed it back in 2011 because that's what propelled him into like an A-list, because obviously that was around the time that his first Fast and Furious was coming out, and that's when he really became like, if you want to be successful, that's the level he's at, which is crazy, by the way.
He's the highest earning fucking actor in Hollywood for like 8 years in a row or something.
Yeah, and he's only started doing that sort of side business in 2002 when he did The Scorpion King, which is crazy.
Scorpion King did win an Oscar, though.
Did it?
No.
Fucking hell, I was like, best soundtrack? I was trying to think outside of the main thing.
I stand alone. Here's Academy Award winning band Godsmack.
Classic Egyptian song. Yeah, that plays in the fucking credits. I'm surprised Doom didn't win an Oscar. Aren't you?
Well, I have the VR version of the game, and let me tell you, I haven't opened it yet, but I will.
See if there's an Oscar in there. Might be for the film.
Hey, there may not be an Oscar winner at WrestleMania, but there will be an Asuka winner.
Oscar. So up next we have the main event. Why did I say Daniel Bryan's featured? Oh, there's some sort of ad. There's an ad, I think, for something.
They did a little SmackDown promo, and Corey Graves was reading out the people in the Fatal 5-Way, and he burst out laughing. So that was really good.
Missed one out.
Yeah, he did.
So you're excited, Byron? There's actually 5 people in the match.
Yeah, so good.
I think as well. Just a quick note on the Fastlane stuff. I think they should have had, instead of Ziggler, come to think of it, they should have had an NXT guy in there. I think it would have really brought the attention if they had like the NXT champion or someone up in the card who's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna have one go. Maybe it was like, you had a good run in the Rumble, come be in here, but that's not gonna happen.
I think they should have had a traffic cone instead of Ziggler, but sure, what can you do?
Yeah. Traffic cone is also here to show the world.
It's here to show the world which route to take on your detour. Yeah.
How many 360s can you do? But main event.
Yeah, so this kicks off with Elias in the...
Our boy. Our boy, isn't he, the Drifter?
He certainly is. If anyone in this match is our... Well, nah, it's not true, because we all know who my fave is, but...
It's a dog.
The big dog.
Big. Yes. So my boy Elias. Sorry, mate. Yeah, you don't allow that boy per main event. Elias, who looks a little bit like the mix between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
And a bit of Luke Harper in there as well.
Yeah, a lot in this main event. I didn't know this. A lot of greasy, long-haired men in this match.
Yeah,
a lot of sweaty, greasy men in this match.
I wonder, they definitely have a chip pan backstage that the wrestlers dip their head into before they go out there.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the big Italian defender Lorenzo Amoruso?
No.
Well, he'd make a good wrestler. Let's just say that.
I actually don't. I wasn't trying to be like a dick or anything. Who did he play for?
Italy. He played for Blackburn. He played for Rangers.
See, I'm like, was he up there with like Maldini and Costa Curta and Materazzi? Oh, Blackburn and Rangers.
Okay, he played for other teams other than them.
Did he get any caps?
Oh, I'm fairly sure he was a well-capped international player. Yeah.
Fair dues. I'm sorry, I'm not asking you for that guy's life story.
Well, you're about to get it, pal. Lorenzo Amoruso is a retired Italian footballer who played... he played for Fiorentina, and he was never capped by Italy, and he was actually shit. And if you're listening to this, Lorenzo, you're a fucking horrible bastard. So, anyway, the match itself, yes. There were some greasy motherfuckers on display in this match. And
we get to see Elias perform, and He says that people in Vegas should be used to seeing people in behind chains because everyone's fucking behind bars, which I thought was funny.
That gave me a serious chuckle, yeah.
It wants to walk with the liars. They love him though. They'll play along and they're like, fuck you, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Once this crowd came through, and then he gets interrupted by Braun. I wonder if he's happy. He came out looking Braun-esque, and then John Cena came out. He gave props to Coach and Cole. Did you see that?
I did indeed. He walked over and he shook Coach's hand as if they were homies.
Yeah. They go way back. I don't think they've interacted. I know they would have interacted when Coach was the Raw GM. Whatever.
In the real dark fucking era.
Yeah. The we don't know what the fuck we're doing with everyone era.
Yeah.
Not quite Attitude Era. Not quite the era we're in of the sort of the work rate era. Yeah, and then comes the big dog. It's Taz! That's telling you. Do Taz's theme, do Roman Reigns' theme. You have one theme.
They should bring back the whole Sierra, Hotel, Echo, Indigo, Tango, Foxtrot, Whiskey.
Roman. Baby. So, yeah, they kept calling him the big dog. So that I counted at least 4 times during the entrance.
He is the big dog, though.
And this is his yard.
Yeah, so what's your problem?
Again, I reckon Undertaker just went, you should be the big dog, and Cole and everyone else are like, yes.
Well, my favorite
print it.
My favorite promo that Roman Reigns ever did was when he was in the ring and a chorus of boos descended every time the microphone approached his mouth, and then he just went, "It's my yard now." That was badass as hell. And then last night on Raw, he gave another fucking great promo where he called Lesnar a little bitch. So, that's good.
He says the word bitch a lot. Do you remember when his catchphrase, I'm going to cock up this fist and make it rain on this bitch?
Well, he's the big dog.
That is fisting.
If there's a dog, he's the big dog, there's got to be a bitch.
Dogs don't have fists, do they? I'm going to cock my paw and I'm going to hump this bitch.
I'm going to bark at the mailman after this bitch.
Yeah. I'm going to steal all the sausages like in a cartoon. And the butcher's going to go, hey. Anyways, Miz comes out. He chats shits to everyone. And I like the fact that Braun didn't smash the window. Miz just shat himself.
Yeah, it's good.
Rollins gets a really good pop.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's what you get when you go 66 minutes on Raw. Bag it down. I always forget about that bit of the song. I'm like, why has it gone quiet?
Same. And it always like catches me by surprise. And I was like, whoa, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I love it when they take a song and then they add a little bit, you know, the classic one being, how do you like me now? Hardcore Holly. I always liked that. And Braun had the same thing, because for a while, I think he had the ambulance noise.
Yeah.
I think Ryback had that for a while as well.
Cesaro did.
Yeah, Cesaro still does.
Perry Saturn, famously only given to bald men.
Scott Steiner.
Yeah. Holler if you hear me.
Yeah. The WCW version of his theme is so much better.
Is that the one?
It's got a drum beat to it.
It's the one that goes like down. There's a really fucking
Holler at Papa. It comes out. So
Finn Balor then.
All blue looking. He's like, I could potentially bring out the Demon in this main event match to go to WrestleMania, but you know what? Nah, I was expecting him to come out in Demon.
I want to like Finn Balor. I really do. And I know that it is internet suicide to not think that he should be in the main event of everything and have all the belts. And to call him Prince Devitt instead of calling him Finn Balor to really establish your cred. But if you take Finn Balor, right, and just completely erase his NJPW stuff and put him here in the Fed to where he is now, he's not that great. Very good in the ring. His in-ring credentials don't need to be defended at all. He's fantastic. He's really creative. He has a kind of a lot of different styles that mesh together really well.
Do you feel a lack of connection to his character then?
I feel nothing to his character, right? And he's like an Irish man. If there was ever someone in the Fed that I would mark out for, like, I really like Sheamus, but I think Sheamus is really good at what he does. I think he's actually very underrated. But Finn is, like, I love his theme music. I love that thing he does to every chorus in it where he kind of interacts with the music very well, a la Cena.
And Undertaker taught him that.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, he worked on his entrance. Maybe mostly as the demon, but he still does the arms out thing in that part of the song. So
if someone could fucking teach him how to talk, that'd be great.
Yeah. I think now that he's with the Good Brothers, he looks way more at ease.
He does. He looks totally relaxed, yeah. But
so he is improving there.
There's something missing, though. And it's not... Like, Benoit had something very obviously missing, too. But it was made up for by the fact that he's intense. He's like...
I've got this passion.
Yeah.
And I will once again beat The Rock. And I will wear the WWF champion.
And you're like, you did just say you'll wear the champion, Chris. But you know what? You look like a pretty scary dude. So I won't correct you on that.
As Coach would say, Chris Benoit, a man of few words.
I love it when they do stuff like that. Fucking in Mean Gene, he just like finishes a program being like, "There you go, fella. Couldn't have said it any better myself." It's like you just heard Macho Man or Ultimate Warrior just do a mad one. He's like, "Yep. There he is, everybody." I quite like that. Mean Gene was the king at that.
Yeah, he was.
But I quite like that. Chris Benoit, a man of few words, because he'd probably bore you to death. But I think maybe we're missing the fire. I don't think Finn is a very fiery guy. He seems like a very passive guy.
Yeah, he seems like a stoner or something. But like, I don't know. There's just, I don't know. There's something off.
He doesn't scream. I know that's his character. Not everyone has to scream to get over, but you don't get the. It feels like work with him sometimes, and he is a good worker. But I don't. Maybe like this time next year we'll be like, holy shit, he's like one of the most charismatic people without saying a word. But yeah.
But like say, so we'll take this match. It starts off in a triple threat mode with Rollins, Balor, and Miz, and Miz is trying to get people to team with him to take on the other guy, and it's very funny. And when he's talking to Balor, Balor is like, "No, every man for himself," and it's just very fucking weird. I don't know. There's just something
very scripted.
Yeah, exactly. Like Rollins had to work pretty hard on his mic skills, and he's got it like nailed down now. But even when he was like pretty green in terms of talking with his mic, like using his mic skills,
early days.
Yeah. It was still better than what Finn does. With Finn, it's like, gee, I don't know.
I guess I'll fight this match. Let's see what happens. And it's just like, come on, bro, you are phenomenal. But yeah, to be honest, he does seem like a very shy, humble guy. I haven't heard him in the podcast circuit, so I don't know too much about him. I know that he trained Becky Lynch, which is pretty fucking cool that they're both in the biz now.
Yeah, that's great.
Again, that's nothing to do with this promo. I think that's just awesome. So there's a lot of roll-ups here, and everyone's kind of doing moves here and there. I'll be honest, this match, I really had a hard time.
Yeah, let's just do an overview of this. Everyone's seen it. And plus, it has been discussed to the death already. Like, we're a little bit late with our reviews of the stuff that's currently going on, so we'll spare everyone the recap of what happened, because you already know.
Just quickly, Corey Graves called it the it kicks, and Michael Cole's like, no, they're the yes kicks, because Miz had the four lads, so we had everyone except Elias and Braun, and Miz just kicked everyone, which is a nice spot. Everyone taking out Braun was a nice spot as well.
Yeah.
The triple, quadruple shield power bomb. I enjoyed that.
More on that in a moment. Yeah.
Miz points at the WrestleMania sign. Someone had to do it. Glad Ronda didn't do it this time. She did it a bit too much at the Rumble. Not that I dislike her. I'm just saying she's obviously told to do that. But she did it when she came up, and then she did it right at the end, because you can get the side angle going on.
Yeah.
So a lot of power bombs in this match. Did you notice that?
Did you see when Roman Reigns came in, he did... He had like a really cool impact. He came in, he started fucking shit up. I think it was on Finn Balor where he he had like a 2 count on him, and then he lifted him up and slammed him down. And Michael Cole said, as he was doing this, and Roman Reigns with a power bomb, and it was not a power bomb. Oh, it was brutal, really, really bad.
Go to bed, Michael. You've been up, bro.
Take the night off, pal.
So we get essentially the story of the matches. Everyone is attacking kind of each other a little bit, and then they team up every now and then to take on Braun. So Braun initially eliminates The Miz. Mm-hmm. We're still waiting for Elias at this point.
Elias is fucking hella agile. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, he's huge, but he obviously does look huge as well. Like, he looks like a big dude, especially next to Cena and stuff, but like... Yeah. He doesn't have, it's so weird to say, but he doesn't have the face of a giant.
No, exactly.
That's what I mean. He looks a bit like Seth Rollins as played Mario, and he's eating the mushroom. He's just like, what? A little bit bigger. And if he eats another one, he's Braun Strowman. That's how it works. So we still went on Elias. I just wrote down not a lot of spots up until the 4-man powerbomb, which was quite cool, because Strowman kicked out, and then Cena went for the FU. He struggled a lot more than he does with the Big Show. And I was confused here.
He might have just been selling it pretty well, like selling Braun's strength pretty well.
That's true, yeah.
Cena selling well.
The man is picking up trucks, to be fair, so...
Yeah,
so nice powerbomb by Elias on Roman Reigns as well. And then Elias is done. I don't know if I missed anything, because the next note that I have is Balor is now gone. I don't know if I was like had an out-of-body experience, because before Balor left, Cena left.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck's going on in here?
Cena also sat on the steps for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, because that was the big story, wasn't it? He's like, this is my chance. I might not
path.
I might not be part of WrestleMania. It's like, fuck off, mate. I think the funniest one, by the way.
Have a word with yourself, John.
Yeah. The funniest one was in 2014 when he was like, well, I guess I don't have a match. And he, like, tried to enter the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Yeah. Multiple 16-time world champion. Yeah, I'll just be here with, like, fucking, the jobs of Kurt Hawkins and me. Yeah. It's just like... then Rusev came out, and that's what led to their feud. Rusev came out in a tank, which was fucking awesome. So this whole, like... Oh, man, I gotta read what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing. Spare me the bullshit, Cena. Yeah, so we're now left to... So Balor's gone, Cena's gone, Miz is gone, Elias is gone, so we're now left to the 3 greasy, hairy men. You notice as well that Braun has eliminated everyone so far. Rollins goes off the top of the pod with a frog splash. That was the first, like, massive spot that I can think of.
Yeah, it was. It was really big as well. Really, really. The commentators sold it very well. The jump itself was... I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing that Mickey did, I suppose, in the women's one. But...
So already seen it once, and I think the women were better at it. Which is shocking, isn't it?
I mean, they had the better Rumble. They've had the better Chamber. Like, these are objectively true facts.
Yeah. So then we have Strowman going through the pod. Not quite not to reference Goldberg with the barricade thing, but not quite the Jericho being speared through, which actually broke the bits of the glass.
Yeah.
Which looked far more terrifying than like a plastic glass kind of bending off its hinges. But there you go. Superman punch. People are hating this shit at this point. So we're going in sequence here. How many Superman punches did you count?
Well, I know he did 3 at the very end. I don't know about before that.
So I think, it was like 3. One who was in midair, one did off the ropes, then another one. Spear, another spear, another Superman punch, another spear, another Superman punch. I think he does about 12 of these, because in my head was just like, is he hitting loads? I don't know. I swear I had an out-of-body experience for this bit. But anyways, he gets the 1, 2, 3, and he's going to WrestleMania.
Right.
Go on.
Let me ask you, because you had a kind of different reaction to this than I did. What was your problem with that?
Of Roman going to WrestleMania?
Well, let's say the outcome of the match. Like the ending. Like, what was your issue?
It never seemed in doubt. I think they wanted to do 2 things in this match: get Roman to WrestleMania, and get Braun over as a killer. And to me, it just felt like a Cena match circa the I'm going to get battered and I'll do my moves and I'll win era. But that's not necessary. Hey.
Did you hear me breathe in?
Hey, come on, hold it in. I'm not finished with you.
Well,
so
I have a really good rebuttal to that.
Sorry,
right?
go on.
So
fuck off. That's the rebuttal.
Blocked.
Yeah, get fucked, Mark.
You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
No, you don't, because I haven't even said it yet, motherfucker.
Alright, sorry.
No, what it reminded me of was Austin winning the Rumble in 2001, except you replace Kane with Braun and Austin with Roman. And actually, it's even less like that in the sense that it's less ridiculous. So, in that Rumble, Kane set the record for eliminations. He was the longest guy in the Rumble. Austin, when he entered, got beaten up by Triple H and taken out to the back and fucked up and all sorts of shit. Then Austin comes out. He doesn't even beat Kane with the stunner. He hits him with a chair before knocking him over. So all of this shit. But Austin goes to WrestleMania. Kane looks very strong. Same thing more or less happens here. The beating that Braun took in the ring, he took every single finisher in one go.
Yeah.
Kicked out of every single one of them. Sometimes that one. The strongest finisher he took was probably the FU or the AA. He kicked out at one. Kicked out at one, and True Cena over. Did that beat that they do. He took the Shield powerbomb. He was left against the Shield, the most dominant stable of the last 10 years. I don't think there's any denying that. And he was against two of the members of it, obviously, but it was 1-on-2. He kicked out of fucking everything, and Roman had to do his finisher, his signature moves, collectively about fucking 7 times before he even put him down. So the thing about it is, Roman is going up against Brock, and Brock is unbeaten. Like, he's a fucking demon. He only slipped up against Goldberg one time, and that was it. He doesn't lose. Even the last time that Brock went up against Roman, Brock annihilated Roman. The two of them, they beat the shit out of each other, but Brock winning was never in doubt if you take out the Rollins entrance. So they have to build Roman. Like, I'm sorry to all the people that don't want Roman, but, like, they do. Braun and Brock have fought against each other in the same ring in 3 out of Brock's last 4 matches, and we know that Brock doesn't do a lot of matches per year, so that's significant. On top of that, Roman is a bigger draw than Braun, and that's just another fact. Like, it's business sense to put Roman in the main event at Mania, and in order to do that, you have to make it look believable, and therefore it has to go this way. It has to be that Roman is destroying the monster, because he's going up against a guy that the monster can't even destroy. So, you know,
that is a sound argument, because I guess if you look at the marquee, Miguel's backing down like a pussy. If you look at the marquee, it probably looks better to put Roman and Brock than putting Miz and Brock. Cena and Brock had that a million times. Braun and Brock, Seth Rollins and Brock and Finn Balor. Like, I guess in a would they win kayfabe sense, there is no one more likely to win. The last 2 people were the people that you'd think could beat Brock Lesnar, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. So out of the 7 people in it, like, funnily enough, it wasn't gonna Lesnar, Elias, WrestleMania.
It's like, but it's so
the My Way video, and the guys just playing guitar in it.
But it's
it's
fucking common sense though. And I'm not saying that in that. Oh, I'm a genius for realizing this, right? But if you do that Google compare trends thing, Roman Reigns is talked about way more than Braun, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Like people saying, "Oh, we hate Roman Reigns." Roman gets booed in the arena, right? But that dude has more fans on the roster than anybody else, and that includes John Cena. People buy his merch more than anybody else. They talk about him on social media more. Roman has like fucking, I think, 12 times as many followers as Braun does. Like, it just does not make sense to have heel versus heel WrestleMania main event. I know people love to boo Roman. I know people hate Roman. That's great. You don't want him to get over. That's fine. But like, the fact is that he's over. Irrespective of your bitching and moaning, he's over.
my argument, I guess, for Roman is he never really went away. And by the way, this isn't about tonight. This is basically so I did a bit of research, believe it or not, everybody,
No.
in the build up to this.
By God Almighty.
Since the Rumble in 2014, Roman Reigns has been the last person left in every single one. He's only won it. Funnily enough, he's actually won it twice. I actually thought he won it more times. He was a finalist in 2014 when Batista threw him out. 2015 when Triple H, I think it was Triple H that threw him out, or he won in 2015.
No, the last two in that Rumble were Dean Ambrose and Triple H, actually.
Oh, okay, so yes, he was third. That's fair enough.
So you're a fucking liar.
Oh, he's bullshitting. There was that one pay-per-view. I think it was a year ago when he had a title match with Kevin Owens, and then was in the Rumble, which implies this guy is not feeling very positive. So guess the number on the Rumble. Just in case. He never really went away, and his step down tends to be winning the U.S. title and winning the Intercontinental title. Then boom, straight back up. The redemption story is set. You're right. And it is set from Mania 31, and they probably knew this all along. They were like, yeah, we're probably going to do a rematch next year, or maybe the year after, or maybe the year after that. Like, they clearly were coming here, because those two, I don't think they had another one-on-one singles match.
No, they didn't. And that match they had at Mania was phenomenal.
Yeah, oh, by the way, this is probably what made us kind of rekindle our love for wrestling. It was just like
100%, yeah. Yeah,
that match. I mean, that whole show was okay. But like that match was like, fucking hell, this is heavy, this is real. The problem with it is, no one is more deserving in the context that you just explained, which is fine. But the whole arc has been, it's a little bit like Cena talking about this redemption stuff like that. It's like you have to actually lose and you have to actually suffer, and it seems to be very fringe suffering compared to someone who'd be like, oh, he's going down the card. I'm not saying that this is the problem. It's like, this is how I think in my head. Reality is, I'm not seeing it. This is me, for once, putting the whole, like, this is a business bit on the side, because I completely understand who should be on the marquee. But he never really went down far down on the card enough to justify the sort of like the build back up. Will WrestleMania be amazing? Of course it fucking will. It's WrestleMania. Like, it's Brock Lesnar, it's him. Like, I'm sure they'll probably just beat the living shit out of each other again. I don't know. I guess they could have gotten there in a different way. That ending left a sour taste in my reviewing mouth and reviewing body. And that is a 2 out of 10 on the show, and I fucking hate it. It all sucks. We'll agree to this, because we'll see what happens come Mania. Like, because you said he's cut a good promo on Raw. I'll have a look at that later on and report back in the past, future, present, because don't know what's going on right now. But yeah. So overall, what did you make of the pay-per-view?
I enjoyed it. I think the men's Elimination Chamber match went a little bit too long. It kind of just, it never really... I have an issue with the Elimination Chamber concept in general, because the best one they ever had was SummerSlam 03, and they should have just stopped it after that, because it's not going to get any better. I think what Goldberg did in that is just, that's how you book an Elimination Chamber. And... having more people in it didn't do anything. Putting those mats over the cage didn't do anything. The women's one was great. The men's one was not really that great. You don't need to have two in the same show. But other than that, I mean, it's a solid 7 out of 10, really, isn't it?
Yeah, the bad wasn't bad enough to bring it down.
Yeah.
As far as B pay-per-view goes, if you're gonna rank it amongst the B pay-per-views, it's on the sort of the upper end, the Champions League area of pay-per-views. I think I managed to do this in 2 sittings, which was nice. Usually, if it's because this, by the way, this is 3 hours 22 minutes. That's a long haul to keep our attention.
Yeah, we're used to, like,
age.
Even when we go back on the older ones that we review for the podcast and stuff, it's like 2 hours 42 minutes usually. Yeah. It does feel like a long time, especially when 4 minutes of it is Sheamus with a sleeper hold on Apollo Crews. So
yeah. And even when we did the Raws and the SmackDowns in 02, those were about an hour 40 because of ads and all that. And that was still 2 sittings for me. So it goes a long way to say that like this is quite impressive that they kept my attention. I say thumbs up. I think everything that they wanted to achieve has been achieved. The Ronda thing, the Braun thing, the Roman thing, the Alexa Bliss thing, and the sort of general women's side of the things as well. And the Asuka thing as well. So I think we're all geared up for WrestleMania. I think it's the build-up might be shit because
I can say a lot about that. The build-up is always shit for WrestleMania.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be good. We're now at a point where it doesn't have to be good because they know that we will be watching, irregardless of how they build it.
But we've covered WrestleMania 18. The build up to that wasn't pretty, and we referenced it to WrestleMania 17. The build up to that wasn't really great. The build up for WrestleMania is not really that good, and people every year say, "Man, the build up this year is terrible." Like, lads, it's always fucking terrible. Deal with it.
Yeah, the last time it was good would have probably been like going way back to the early days because you would have had a promo a week and a bunch of jobber matches. So you're like, holy shit, Hulk Hogan's talking to Andre and the weekly show. This is a big deal. Or a Saturday night's main event. So was it a good build up in 06 when you had fucking Vince shove Shawn Michaels' face into his fucking anus, or you had Mick Foley hit himself with a bat because he's trying to get all worked up for his hardcore match with Edge? Like, it was a great build-up. It's like, but if you went back in 06 and read the people talking about it there, they would have been like, it's awful.
People in 2012 said the build-up was terrible, and that featured the CM Punk Undertaker build-up, which was fantastic. So it got a bit personal with the fucking thing dying, but Rock Cena, you've got a year, you're fine, you can then do it again. So I don't think you're right. I think that most WrestleMania build-ups have been great because I think by this point everyone, by the way, people who don't even like wrestling on a weekly basis or a monthly basis have come up and are like, it's WrestleMania coming up. Blah, blah, blah. Obviously it's fringe news, but it's kind of on the news. Have come up and talked to me about it. So see everyone at Mania. Yeah. Watch this show though. It's good. And we may do Fastlane, but we probably won't.
Yes, see how we feel in a couple of weeks. Don't want to commit to that just in case.
Exactly. So if anyone's wondering, where's Fastlane? We probably don't care.
On the network. Go watch it there. Yeah. Actually, can someone be cool if someone watched it and review it back to us?
Oh, that'd be great.
We could read it out. They'll basically just do the job for us, like the integral bit that we do. The watching and the reviewing. Just do that bit. But that's all for tonight, folks. Remember to follow us and subscribe and leave a like or a comment. Tell us what you did enjoy, didn't enjoy, are looking forward to. The Roman Reigns thing, definitely want to hear what people think. Actually, I don't. It's probably going to be a lot of negative, isn't it? Because any smarky sort of pod or website is always going to be tilted towards the smarkiness, isn't it?
I'll say this, the 411 Mania, the guy who reviewed the Chamber says, I'll just take this excerpt here. Reigns is the chosen one by WWE, and I'll just put a pin in that for a moment and say that is the main point of people's bitterness towards Roman, is that he's the chosen guy by WWE. That's like the main, people are angry about that, right? So he goes on to say, he puts on some good matches, but to me, he doesn't feel like the star they think he is. Braun continues to feel more like the organically grown star. He's over, feels like a larger-than-life star, and the crowd reacts to him like one, right?
Wrong!
This does not matter. Who is a bigger draw? Roman. Who has more web traffic? Roman. Who has more followers? Roman. Who gets a bigger reaction? Roman, believe it or not. So, fuck off.
It's funny because I traditionally I tend to be more like, no, this is the business, and I've kind of gone down his route. It's like what you feel and what reality is doesn't fucking matter. Like what you feel is what you feel, and that's fine. That's fine to put your opinion in.
Yeah.
But to say that Braun Strowman is more organic, it's just because he's not Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
So
And they both have a very similar trajectory. They both came from a wildly successful stable. They both didn't really change a whole lot about their appearance or their moveset or anything like that after that stable. They're both about the same on the mic. They both embody their character about the same way. And it just so happens that people prefer Roman. And, like, that's the way it is. I'm not telling people to like Roman. You don't have to. I don't care if you do. But don't go around acting like he's not good in the ring. People don't care about him. Everyone hates him. Like, because these things are just not true. He gets booed in arenas, yes. Mainly the reason for that.
But he gets cheered at house shows, by the way.
He gets
super over house shows.
He gets cheered in the arena too. It's just that, like, you know, the adult males booing him happen to
be louder.
They're louder than the teen
Simple
girls cheering him. Like, that is literally it. So.
And and I wonder, would that guy say the same thing? For example, if Braun wasn't in the match, but it came down to Roman and Elias. I think that Elias's connection is more. If it came down to Roman and Cena, I think Cena's connection with the audience is more organic.
No, well, I'll tell you this, right? And I won't beat around it. For people listening, like, I'm sorry, I know I do this a lot, but it's a genuine, like, moment of mass hysteria amongst wrestling fans, and it really bothers me because they don't think about this rationally. They think about it emotionally, which is their reaction to Reigns, which is that they hate him, and that's fine, but don't act like he's not good. But take this for example, right? Let's flip the roles. So people are saying Braun should have won because he's over more, right? Okay, so if Roman Reigns was in the ring and he went through every single finisher, ended against the strongest stable, blah blah, took 6 finishers, kicked out, went on to win, right? Do you think people would be fucking happy? Like, there's absolutely
kicks out.
Yeah, there's just no way that would be. People would have an insane reaction to that. They'd lose their fucking minds. So, like,
internet.
Let's just keep it real here. Like, the Fed love Braun. They're absolutely delighted with everything that he's done, and he is over.
He's fine, guys. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna be fine.
Like,
everyone is gonna be fine.
Think about how strong they made him look against the big dog, against the guy that is the chosen one. Like, just. Like, come on, like, just...
And just one final note. If you're not watching WrestleMania because Roman Reigns in it, then good for you.
Yeah, good for you. I hope you enjoy Fastlane.
Yeah. Go see what a pay-per-view is like without some of these guys. And to me, I'll see y'all at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'll see. So, yeah, we'll see you there.
Yeah, you fucking marks. Bye!
See you.
Yes. That was my favorite episode so far, ever.
It does get better every time, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just want you to talk about Roman Reigns more. I'm going to try and shoehorn him in more.
Really?
Yeah, I think you've made all the points that I've always wanted to make, but I'm still a little bit bitter about Roman, but I think you got that across perfectly well.
Yeah, it's just the strangest thing to me. Like, I just don't get it.
It's just neglecting everything he's ever done.
Yeah.
That he stands for because you don't like it. And that's like, who's the mark now?
Nothing's gonna change.